And our lead this hour from the post-mortem on the weekend that was in the NFL. Specifically, we'll start in Northern California. Are the 49ers going to be censured by the NFL for their shenanigans? The Niners on the field painted a masterpiece back on Monday night. They roasted the Jets. I didn't know that was possible. The Jet is not an animal, but they were able to roast them. Now, that came without Christian McCaffrey, the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year. We talked about this in a previous episode of the show. The Niners claiming now a calf Achilles injury. Backup, someone named Jordan Mason. I don't know who that is, but he played wonderfully. And he also said the thing you can't say at the time you can't say it after the game, claiming that he was aware he would be starting back on Friday when the breathless reporting by NFL media was that the decision came down just before the game. But he actually knew all weekend that he was going to start on Monday, and then he got called into the principal's office and then was all bummed out and depressed and all that. Well, now reports are saying that Christian McCaffrey could have played had the 49ers been in a playoff game. Very odd to play a playoff game in September. I don't think it's ever happened before. Maybe it has. I don't know. And at the same time, that's one side of the mouth. On the other side of the mouth, we're also being told there's a real chance that McCaffrey will not play in Week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings. So the story is what's known as a scattershot story. It's all over the map. You've got one report saying, well, he could have played. Then not going to play. Not going to play. All right, so let us discuss the question. How concerned should the 49ers be with Christian McCaffrey and his reported injury? So I've got Gateway, Martyrdom, and Slurpee. And we'll put all of these things together, and we will ride the hamster wheel of the hot take is what we're going to do. So, one thing I have learned this week, in Week 1, what did you learn? Do not believe anything that comes out of the 49ers. Right? The rhetoric from Kyle Shanahan, he will lie right to your face. The 49ers were caught red-handed in the fib factory. We detailed the Jordan Mason saying the quiet part out loud part of the story. So you have to cut through the haze. You have to cut through the haze or the smoke if you live in a place where there's a lot of wildfires. So Christian McCaffrey allegedly has Achilles tendonitis. That's the story as I understand it. Achilles tendonitis, which is a gateway injury. Now, I'm not a doctor. However, I can play one on overnight radio, and based on several minutes of going on WebMD and other medical websites, the injury does not sound that bad. It sounds benign, right? Achilles tendonitis. Tendonitis is something that is pretty common. The claim is that type of tendonitis will lead to a snap, crackle, pop of the Achilles. And if that happens, well, that is a career-changing injury. However, despite that, I am measured on the MALLER worry-o-meter for the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey, 1 to 10, with 10 being, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. I'm at a 3. And here's why. We're a ways away. We got all the way through the end of the year here to get to January for the playoffs. And they already have a plug-and-play guy in Jordan Mason. They have the Shanahan scheme, which Kyle just took from his daddy. It's the family business, coaching in the NFL. And Jordan Mason will not be as good as he was Monday night most of the time. The law of averages will catch up to him. But he got off to a great start, and they can find some guy out of the Canadian Football League, get somebody from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and be okay for the regular season, right? For the regular season. Now, turning the page, we go to Miami as we continue our around-the-clock coverage. When your favorite NFL star gets pulled over, we are there. Latest on the speeding ticket, heard round the echo chamber of the NFL. You've got proclamations coming out. Drew Rosenhaus, the high-powered, highfalutin NFL agent, Drew Rosenhaus, and Tyreek Hill himself. Now, Tyreek threw a statement from his attorney calling for the police officer who pulled him out of the vehicle to be fired. Miami-Dade cops said Hill was cited for careless driving and a seatbelt violation in the traffic stop that has been dissected like it is a laboratory frog. The citation states that Hill was going 60 miles an hour, 20 miles over the posted speed limit. That was a visual estimation over the speed limit, which was at 40 miles an hour. Now, it depends where you're. Like a lot of the cops I've noticed, they'll let you go like 10 miles over the speed limit, maybe even 15. But once you get to like 20, it becomes an issue where they can cherry pick. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. I did not see any statement by Tyreek Hill announcing, well, maybe I should have let the window down. I didn't see anything like that. I didn't see Drew Rosenhaus say, next time, Tyreek, just leave the window down. I didn't see that. I must have missed it. I'm sure both of them issued statements saying that should have happened. So where are you at regarding the latest developments in the Tyreek Hill story? All right, so we know at this point battle lines have been drawn. There's no one in the middle of the road. Right, you're either I hate all cops, and this is an example of how cops all suck, or you're like, well, the cop was over the top, but Tyreek should have rolled the window down. Right now, Drew Rosenhaus and those in the Tyreek Hill camp. The thing that's fascinating to me, I mentioned the battle lines are drawn and all that. The thing here that it just blows my mind is that they are working overtime here to paint a Tyreek as some kind of sympathetic figure, that there's martyrdom on display here. And that just blows me away. Like, there's a lot of people he's sympathetic for. Tyreek, his resume, his body of work, assaulting his pregnant girlfriend, domestic violence. He was accused of battery in 2019. Last year, he paid some hush money to a marina worker in South Florida that he was accused of assaulting. Now, Hill's a heck of a football player, but let's not pretend he's Mother Teresa here. Let's not pretend he's Mother Teresa. Again, the cop was a hothead. Tyreek escalated the situation with the rolling up the window and all that, the tinted window, which is taboo in that world of law enforcement. And so both things can simultaneously be true. All right, that's the way it is. I mean, both people, in this case, there was wrong on each side, and we'll see how this plays out. But now the last word here. Let's go to Denver as the dissection of the play of the rookie quarterbacks continues. Now, Sean Payton, he came out swinging in defense of his quarterback. He says he has no worries, Sean Payton, with what he saw from rookie Bo Nix in his first game. A lot of the nerds love the nerd sites. Oh, man, they know exactly who the offensive line is supposed to block and where the receivers are supposed to run. They have all the answers, and then they can grade everyone. It's outstanding. I don't know how they have all that. They must be really smart. They're super nerds. So they're like, well, Nix didn't play all that well. I kept flipping back. I kept going back to this game, and I'm like, wow, how is he this bad? Now, Sean Payton, what he did was he praised the attitude. He praised the attitude in which Bo Nix performed. Right? He celebrated that. Now, what did you think? Quick question for the esteemed panel. What did you think of Broncos coach Sean Payton here, passionately defending Bo Nix and the attitude that he played with? So it was standard for, I would say, you don't judge success and failure based on attitude. Now, maybe I'm wrong on that. I never coached in the NFL. I never played in the NFL. But you expected Payton to come out and stand by his quarterback. And he did. He stood by his quarterback. But it's also a classic diversionary tactic. It is, right? He became a cliche monster. He said, we just got to be better all around, right? Better around him. And it's going to be hard to play quarterback, period, if you can't run the ball and all that. Of course, one thing leads to another, right? If you're able to throw the ball, that opens up the running game and vice versa. But the way I looked at it, Bo Nix played like he was at 7-Eleven, and we've all been there, and he ordered a Slurpee at 7-Eleven, and he just ate it too fast, and he had brain freeze. This is what he played. He played like. And he'll play better, either that or he won't be playing. Like, it's not really that hard. Like, he's either going to play better or they'll sit him down and put Zach Wilson in there, God forbid, and they'll rotate the quarterbacks if he's going to go out there and drown. Now, there is some level of growing pains that you have to go through, and so he's going to have a lot of opportunity to show improvement. And the good thing is the bar is very low. The bar is very – you could be in the gutter and clear the bar. Okay, that's where the bar is for Bo Nix.